got 2 off.
No.
2 off. 2 off.
I don't know.
Is everybody ready? Is anybody not ready? Okay. Interpretation. They define the legislation one or more of the following. A marijuana online gambling physician is they should defend the legalization of one or more of the following. Marijuana online gambling physician-assisted suicide, prostitution, the sale of human organs. 1. Limits. A limited topic discussion that provides for equitable ground is key to productive decision-making. Advocacy skills in every and all aspects of life. Even if their position is contestable, that's distinct from being valuable, debatable. This still provides room for flexibility, creativity, innovation, but targets the discussion to avoid more statements of fact. Debates are also solve any possible term. Steinberg and freely aid. Debate is a means of settling difference, so there must be a difference of opinion or conflict or interest before there can be a debate. Where there is no clash of ideas, proposals, interests, or expressed positions on issues, there is no debate. In addition, debate cannot produce effective decisions without clear identification of a question or questions be answered. Groups of concerned citizens worried about the state of public education could join together to express their frustrations, anger, disillusionment, and emotions regarding schools. Without a focus for their discussions, they can easily agree about the sorry state of education without finding points of clarity or potential solutions. But if a precise question is posed, such as what can be done to improve public education, the more proper area of discussion is opened up simply by the placing of focus on the search for a concrete solution step. To have a productive debate which facilitates effective decision-making by directly placing limits on decisions to be made, the base for argument should be clearly defined. Although we now have a general subject, we have not yet stated a problem. It is still too broad, too loosely worded to promote well-organized argument. This is not to say that debate should completely avoid creative interpretation of the controversies by advocates, or that good debates cannot occur over the competing interpretations of the controversy. The point is that debate is best facilitated by the guidance provided by focus on a particular point of difference, which will be outlined in the following discussion. In order to have a debate, we must have a starting point at the topic. Letting the app choose their own starting point ensures their ability to achieve effective deliberation and meaningful debate. Odama 4. When we speak of frameworks in the competition and academic debate, we are talking about the set of standard beliefs or assumptions that generate the questions that the judge ought to answer at the end of the debate. Generally being considered by argumentation scholars to be the point of clash where two opposing sides meet in an argument. Stasis recognizes the fact that interviewers engaged in a conversation discuss the debate need to have more level of expectation regarding their focus of their encounter ought to be. To reach stasis, participants need to arrive at a decision about what is the issue, is prior to their conversation, but remember they need to be mutually acknowledge the point about which they disagree. What happens when participants fail to reach agreement about what is that they are arguing about? They talk past each other with little or no awareness of what the other is saying. In such situations, genuine engagement is not possible because participants have not reached agreement about what is dispute. For example, when one of our advocates says that the United States should increase international involvement in the reconstruction of Iraq, their opponent replies that the United States should abandon its policy of preemptive military engagement. They're talking past each other. Effective deliberation is the linchpin of solving all existential global problems. Gutenberg 10. Debate build capacity of critical thinking, analysis of public claims, informed decision-making, better public judgment. Debate provides an indispensable form of education, the modern articulation of democracy, because it builds precisely the skills that allow the citizenry to research and inform about policy decisions that impact them. The merits
are down to the second point.
Okay. Switch sides debate. No offense, the affirmative can easily run the affirmative on the negative. It can still present their issue without being untopical as the affirmative. There is no absolute reason to vote aft. You can still endorse their thinking while voting negative. Make them give you reasons why voting affirmative is essential. B. Critical thinking. Effective deliberation is only possible in switch debate. Forces critical thinking, better advocacy is in one position, and key to decision making killer at all one. Debates may help to stimulate critical thinking by shaking students free of established opinions and helping them to appreciate the complexity involved in policy dilemmas, relationships between policy practice skills, critical thinking, learning policy practices, and couple social workers. Efforts to influence the development, enactment, and implementation or assessments of social policies. Effective policy practice involves analytical activities such as defining issues, gathering data, and conducting research, and identifying and prioritizing policy options and creating policy proposals. These policies, practice, skills reflect the hallmarks of critical thinking. Significant parallels exist with the policy-making process, identifying values underlying policy choices, recognizing and evaluating multiple alternatives, and take a position in advocating for its adoption. Developing policy practice skills seems to share much in common with developing capacities for critical thinking. Involving students in sensitive debates, challenge them to learn and grow. Participation in debate stimulates clarification and critical evaluation of the evidence, logic, and values underlying one own policy position. In addition to debate effectively, students must understand and accurately evaluate the opposing perspective. The ensuing tension between two distinct but legitimate views is designed to yield a revelation and reconstruction of knowledge and beliefs pertaining to the issue. Effective decision making outweighs key to social improvements in every and all aspects of life. Sternberg and Freely 8.
Basically, if that go down to 3.
Okay. Topic education.
Yeah, that's right there.
Topic education 3. Topic education is key to education. The reason we debate a new topic each year is to learn more about different areas of the political realm. Moving on.
Go down.
To
Start reading there. Yeah.
Okay. Our alternative is to throw down our chains and empty out capitalist structures to drain them of their wealth and power in order to prevent the increase of capital. This is possible, realistic strategy that Lily and I bring to you. Do not buy into the magic bullet reforms of the affirmative. These reforms of the system are not the answer. It is simple. Anything short of rejection of capitalism, it will fail. Simon Brown, 02. As the global economy has gone and the economic gap between the poor nations and the rich has become enormous, the players in the transnational networks inside the Western countries of the world, especially the United States, is concentrated power in the internally determined states. Decisions states are no longer out of its ages. Transnational economic interests have taken precedence over national sovereignty. The role of the ballot is for the team whose best methodology breaks free from the grip of capitalism on debate. Our methodology is to take revolution acts as a resistance toward the capitalist system by hollowing out with rejection. The logic of capitalism through its promotion, maximization, and rates of profit of the heart of financial instability, which is a devastating crisis around the world, who started in 2011. The consequences of the crisis are felt beyond the border and the origin. Unemployment, rising cost of living, exclusion of the poorest, and growing middle class's number is expanding. As events untold, they succumb to the pressure of profit. When the rates increase, regulations are relaxed. When the rates diminish, regulations are increased in favor of accumulation of capital. The crisis exploded with the phenomenon of subprime mortgages. The phenomenon is much older. When financial capital began to be more profitable than productive capital. Financial crisis in 2008 triggered a series of policies, indebtedness, restriction of credit, austerity measures. The countries of the South were also affected. As for food and the rising prices, the effect of the poorest, the women, the cause of the crisis lie in the logic of capitalism. A market that is not regulated leads to a crisis. It's a macroeconomic crisis. The current imbalance combined with other kinds of crises in the fields of food, energy, and climate linked to the logic. The burden rejection of binaries normalizes the capitalist relationship of ownership. We must affirm binaries to understand that all social structures are determined by a fundamental division between those that sell labor power and those that purchase it. The affirmative alternative results in a class of pluralism that makes it impossible to understand these divisions. Elmer Zyberg in 2008. The materialist theory is a binary theory. People in societies are divided between those who sell their labor power to live. Dismissal of the binary is based on a post-deconstructive ontology. There are many singular classes that are class struggles. There are many class struggles those are subjectivities. Class is another form of singularity, which is under the collective. Class as a process theory, dichotomy's theory of class, critique of the dichotomy's theory of class for its determination foundation. There's no outside class anywhere. Given their affirmation of capitalism here to say would be more realistic to struggle to end to class rule. They call for an intervention of homogeneity of class to make it heterogeneous. This view of class is interesting for what it says. The way it left, it has normalized class interest. Using the epistemology.
Go down to the next one.
Okay. Patriarchy dealt from a particular division of labor between welfare and reproduction for early 2011. Without labor, there's no life for humans. Not any kind of labor will suffice. Labor must be suited to external pressure and challenges to humans face at particular times in its particular places. In early hunter-gathering society, the labor that needed to be performed extended beyond hunting and gathering. External pressures also necessitated warfare labor and reproductive and caring labor. Political affects, indifference, and desire prelude a class-based analysis. Class itself becomes dispersed among a series of internal and produced phenomena under framework the socialist created by effect, making it impossible to enact change. Emporia in 2008. Freedom was no longer thought as an opinion on.
Mark the card there.
Okay.
Data for cross-sects?
Yeah.
First, let's talk about your Albert and the
it's the second to last card that you read, that actually got through. It talks, it talks about like how the AF rejects binaries. I'm assuming this is your link card, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, okay. Isn't a rejection of capitalism a rejection of the proletariat bourgeoisie binary?
What we're talking about is like rejecting your like how you define binaries.
Yeah,
We say,
but what I'm saying is that your card isn't specific to our binaries. It just says binary theory in general. But the bourgeoisie proletariat is a binary that you are trying to reject. So how do you not link to your own K?
okay, what we want to say is
Proletariat
that
being like low class,
Are you-
bougie, being up.
you wanna take this?
Yeah.
Go take it because this was your speech.
Okay, essentially all we're saying is that when it comes down to capitalism, like even if you were to pull through and fought for your plan, at the end of the day, it's gonna basically fail because it's gonna fall to the clutches of capitalism. Like, essentially, that's all this bigger
So
argument
women
is.
having sexual liberation is going to fall to
The hands of
clutches
capitalism?
How?
Yeah. Essentially what you're arguing is,
Like making a woman not feel bad about the fact that she just had sex is capitalist in nature?
That links
No.
back into our framework argument that you don't
Like-
No, I'm talking about cap right now.
Right.
okay, so we're not linking that to, like, what you're talking about links back into our framework. What we're talking about, like,
So
essentially
if
it
framework
doesn't,
and cap go hand in hand, you will defend both at the end of the round.
No, what we're saying is that if you look to our framework, you don't actually defend any part of the resolution. in
Okay,
your
so
idea.
we don't link to any part of the resolution?
What we're saying is that you affirm
Okay.
the legalization of prostitution. That's capitalist. You should reject it.
Okay, so we can't say that, okay, whatever. Okay, let's talk about switch side debate. Now, if, like, you're so keen on us running this on the neg, shouldn't you be prepared for this when you're at? Shouldn't you still have answers to our affirmative?
I'm sorry,
Okay, switch side debate, you want us to go neg with this.
right.
Shouldn't you then also still be able to be prepared to debate this when you are AF?
As a, sure.
Yeah,
critique,
so
neg.
then why does your ground argument matter?
Okay.
Because
we
you
could-
still have answers to our negative argument.
What it's saying is that you can run it on the negative and still like have the same issue, and like there's no reason for
But
you
if
to
we
vote
run this on the
affirmative.
neg, we're gonna be getting framework on the neg, so why can't we run it on the AF?
Kayla,
Why?
you wanna take this because I'm
Okay. Essentially what a switch sides is like is like it's totally unfair for you to run it. It's more abusive for you to run it as a AF argument than it is for you to run it as a neg argument.
Why? We're gonna get framework both sides, why not AF? AF
Because
choice.
it's inherently more abusive as an AF for me to have, as a neg for me to have to prepare for
Are
this.
you all gonna take prep?
Yeah, I'll take prep.